family, and welcome to another episode of the Limelight, where the dopeness continues. And today we're taking it to church. We sit down with international singer-songwriter Anisa Fowler, born and raised in Trinidad, but living her best life in New York and trying to take over the world. We talk about her marriage, her mission, her music, and much more. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Limelight, and thank you guys for joining us. And today we have the beautiful, talented Anisa Fowler, who is an international gospel singer and songwriter. She's going to be here and she's going to tell us all about her impact, her mission, the industry, and so much more. And I'm so excited that she's here speaking with us. So thank you again for coming here and speaking to us on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here with you.
Yes, ma'am. So let's just get right into it. So tell us a little bit about your music career, because I know you've been nominated for things. I've actually listened to some of your songs. I love them and I had them on repeat. So thank you, because I put them in my playlist.
Good.
I really did. So thank you for that. So just tell us a little bit of how that all came into fruition.
So, I see myself as a worshiper. I just love to worship God. I think that's really, I have fallen in love with his presence, being in his presence more than anything else. And I just feel blessed and honored that everything that I do privately, I get to have that corporate experience and invite people into his presence through the music that I do, through the worship that I display. And it's been a really exciting road so far.
I love that. And so like I said, I listened to some of the songs. Your sound doesn't necessarily sound all the way like gospel. It has I don't know, it's really modern and catchy. So I think so. What is your style? Do you feel like you have a specific type of style?
It's interesting because I'm growing up, I love Yolanda Adams. I still love her now. And that kind of a kind of just flat foot, no extra riffs and twirls and runs and all that stuff. I mean, there's a little bit of it that kind of gets thrown in automatically. But it's just this kind of powerhouse, just throw everything out there type of a singing that I do.
I love that. And honestly, your voice is powerful and it's really beautiful. It is.
Thank you.
I was going through your YouTube page, just looking at your different performances, because sometimes people sound way different than their track. So I wanted to see you live in person. And when I did, I was like, oh, she has range. You really can sing. So
thank you. It's so crazy. Just the other day, someone said to me that, because I had a listening party for my EP that is being released next Friday. And July 15th is when the EP is being released. And the person said, you sound exactly like your record. And I'm like, do people not sound exactly like their record? I didn't really think that was a thing.
It's a thing. That's funny. Okay,
that's really exciting. I'm glad that you listen to it and you can kind of feel all of that from just watching it on YouTube. That's the point.
I did, and I loved it, and I will be listening to more for sure. So tell us a little bit, why you decided to do gospel, because like I said, you have a beautiful voice. You could have did R&B, you could have did pop, whatever else of genre of music. Why gospel? I know you said you're a worshiper, so maybe that's number one, but.
Yeah. And, I think honestly, it wasn't a big choice for me. I didn't feel like I had other options. And I still think today, if other options were presented to me, and it's no shade to the other genres, but I feel like my sole purpose on this planet is to glorify God. And the best way for me to do it is through music that glorifies him. Some of the other genres, it's about just you, or it's about relationships, and not you can't sing about those things. And there's a time and place for it. But I just feel like my purpose in life is to really shine a light on God's goodness. And the best way for me to do that is through gospel music. I couldn't think of another genre.
With it being your purpose, do you find that in today's day and age, it's harder to reach more people with the gospel? Seems though a lot of people are leaving the churches, and a lot of people are, just experimenting with their spirituality and their religion. Do you feel like it's harder to reach folks?
I believe that it's hard to reach anybody anywhere if you aren't called to do it. But when you're called to do it and you are focusing on the assignment, it's not my responsibility to find people. It's God's responsibility to present people to me. And it's my responsibility to be where he wants me to be so that I don't miss those divine appointments. And so for me, it's about staying connected to him and making sure that the life that I live really is matching what I'm singing about. And every opportunity, whether it's a big stage or it's one person one-on-one, as long as I show up to those opportunities ready, then purpose is fulfilled. It's not really about a particular number or a particular type of person or anything like that. It's just about fulfilling every individual assignment when God presents it to me.
Gotcha. And so, Anisa, let me ask you this. How do you, because you said you knew that this was your purpose, but how did you know? I know that's a hard question to answer for people. A lot of people, but like, how did you know?
And, I think that's a great question too, because at the end of the day, I believe that everything that we have within us, every passion, every dream, every desire, it comes from God. When you buy something in the store and it comes with this manual, from the manufacturer, this is how you use this. This is the purpose that this is supposed to be. You don't buy a speaker and sit on it. It's not a chair. It's meant to give sound. And so I feel like for me, because I accept the fact that God is my manufacturer, I go to him consistently for what am I supposed to do? And my passions and my desires and my dreams, they come from him. So if I'm desiring to talk to people, I know that ain't the devil. That's God saying, talk to this person. So then he equips me with everything I need through his word. So for me, purpose is kind of defined by what it is that you are innately passionate about. And I'm innately passionate about God, passionate about his word, passionate about being in his presence. So everything that I do then lines up with that. And singing isn't the only thing. It's sometimes these kinds of conversations, just talking and other people being inspired and blessed by your testimony. So it's just everything is an opportunity to just show his love, and all of it is purpose.
And testimony, that's like one big word to me. I feel like I've had tons of testimonies, actually. So with that being said, if you don't mind, I would want to get a little personal.
I don't mind.
So tell us just a little bit about your journey, being in the church, and then, you also went through a divorce, which can be tough for anyone. Do you feel like you kept your faith and that's what got you through, or how was it for you?
Faith is the only thing that got me through that. I think that, especially in the church, I think it's hard for anybody. Even if you worship Satan, if you are in a relationship with someone and you're in a relationship with them for years and you're intertwined, your life is intertwined, you have children with them, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is not working. The kind of a tear that happens, because whether you believe it or not, you become one. You become one person. Everything about you, your dreams, your goals, your passions, your children, all of it, it's all together. And then as you start to pull away, what you realize is that pieces of me have been ripped from me with this happening. And so it's not just losing this person, but it's losing all the parts of me that was attached to that and trying to figure out, who am I now? There's so much of my identity that was tied into being a wife and being this godly wife. And how does a godly wife, her husband just says, we're done. How does that happen? And the kind of guilt that you go through in your mind and having to talk about it, it's overwhelming. But I really believe that my life is in God's hands. And this is just one tiny piece to the enormous book that God has already designed for me. And one of the reasons why I call my EP The Next Chapter is because I really believe that, as horrific as it might have felt in the moment, God allowed it to happen because he wanted me to move on to a new chapter in my life. And that's where I am. I think for anybody that's going through a divorce, as painful as it is, as much as we know God doesn't want that. God didn't want me to have a divorce. I didn't go into the relationship saying, I can't wait for this to be done. You know, I wanted it to work, but the fact that it didn't work for the hundreds of reasons that it didn't work does not mean that I am no longer in my purpose. I'm still in my purpose and I still have a job to do, and I'm going to do it as effectively as I can.
And you speak it so beautifully and eloquently, but
Do I?
you do, because, you know, for some people, it's just, you know, when they go through hardships and they go through these types of things, either they can get closer to God, and it seemed like you did, but it seemed like you never left either. Like some folks can just fall or they stop believing, and it can be hard to believe in something when you feel like everything is breaking down. So
Absolutely.
to say that you went through this and, you know, you just kept your faith, I think that's really powerful, and people should know that. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I really believe that there was a period in time where God deposited the statement to me, you are not your mistakes. And I have held on to that. And I think that what happens a lot in any kind of devastation in our lives, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be a job. It can be an opportunity missed. And you feel like, oh my God, because that's no longer there for me, I'm no longer who I'm called to be. And God is like, absolutely not. Are you crazy? For one, like these things shock us and surprise us, but God is not surprised. Before I was conceived in my mother's womb, he knew that this would happen. And he's already made a way, a plan, everything for me. So if I get stuck on that, I'm almost saying to God, well, you don't know what to do with me next. So I'm just going to stay here and crumble. No, 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 no. I'm putting my life right back in your hands. I'm so sorry I messed up, Lord. Fix this, Jesus, so I can move on to the next chapter. And that's where I'm at.
oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm getting like a personal sermon, and it's so beautiful to me. I'm over here like, yes, I'm like feeling it, like, I love that. And so what would you say to those, you know, that, or what would you say to the folks who actually would want to give themselves to the gospel, but don't know how, or scared to, you know, because there's some folks that feel, again, that, you know, they want to, but they don't know where to start. They don't want people to judge them. They're not. So what would you say?
First of all, I think it's really important to understand that it's not about a particular religion. It's not about a particular church. We are serving God Almighty. And you got to get into his word and just understand who he is. Yes, we all need a little bit of guidance. And I think that's what pastors are for, and leaders that are a little bit more knowledgeable and things like that. But don't worry so much about people, because at the end of the day, none of us know everything. The biggest, best, I love TD Jakes. I listen to him all the time. TD Jakes don't know everything. And there are some things that God is going to say to me that he's not going to say to TD Jakes. So I really think it's about understanding that you want to cultivate a relationship with God, not with people. And if you do that, God will direct you to the people that you do need to have in your life to help you through the process. He'll direct you to the church. He'll direct you to the pastor. And it may not be forever. It'll be a season of one church, and then you can move on to another. But it really is about connecting with him. Allow yourself to connect with God. Allow him to direct you, to lead you. And then just listen.
Beautiful. And so you say that God directs you to the people that you need to be involved with. Who did he direct you to, you know, get your music up and going? Because I already know, like I said, you were doing some singles by yourself before you joined forces with an independent label, right?
Yes. Arnu Records. And let me tell you, Joshua Arnu, who is the owner of Arnu Records, him and I went to the same high school together.
Oh.
It is so crazy. We sang in groups together. A long time ago, we were a part of like equal membership to a group called God's Plan. And we were working really hard on doing that. And then I got pregnant. And that was like my first hit to my heart, to my Christianity, to all of that. Having a baby, not being married, in the church, leading worship, leading the choirs. And it was like, this fornicator, and it was so tough, and that kind of severed that particular group, because it was a weight that was too heavy for us to carry. And we stayed friends, but he went his way, I went my way. And then things turned around right after I came back from Italy. I did a tour in Italy in December of 2019, right before the pandemic. And I was just like, you know what? I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't have the money. I don't have the support. And I'm like, God, I don't want to quit because I know you've called me to do this, but I cannot do this without money. Send me the money. And when I tell you, Joshua Arnoux called me and said, hey, I'm starting a record label and I want you to be my first artist. I looked at my phone like, I was looking at the phone and looking at God like, what is this? And I was like, are you serious, Josh? And he was like, I am so serious. And I was like, me? Like, you know, so many artists, me? He was like, God said it's you. You are the one. And we have been hitting the road. I mean, it's been guns blazing since I signed with Arnoux Records. And I'm just so, so happy for all that God is doing with us.
And so I know you've been traveling all over. Where are some of the places you've been? Who are some of the people you touched?
So our first really, really big event was in Nashville. We went to the Stellars last year. That was really amazing. And the actual Stellar Award show, we were just attendees. But surrounding the Stellars, there are a lot of artist showcases. And we did a couple of showcases. They were absolutely amazing, connected with a lot of radio people. And then we went back to a Kojic convocation that actually came to be because of one of those events at the Stellar Awards. They're like, we want you to come and be a part of this program. And I went and I did Covered for the first time, and it wasn't even released yet. Josh and I talked about it. We had the music done. I still hadn't laid down my vocals, but the music, the background vocals were all ready. And we did like a small mix, and he was like, let's try it out and see what happens. And when I tell you, Jatrissa, the place was a wreck. I did the song, I finished the song, the MC called me back up, we kept singing the song, it just wouldn't let go. And we knew right then and there, Covered is the song that we have to release next. And it's been on fire.
Wow. And Covered, is that the one that's on Billboard?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it is insane. We released You Rain first and really thought that that was going to be wonderful. And then we started working on Covered, did this like impromptu singing of Covered. And then we were like, you know what, let's release it. And so we pulled You Rain and started pushing Covered, and it's flying. We released Covered November 2021. And we have been in the top 30 on Billboard Gospel Indicator for the past 13 weeks. 13 weeks. I can't.
That is crazy. I love it. That's a blessing right there. And then talk about, not only was Covered on the billboards, right? But you, because I have my notes, hold up, because I want to get it right. You were nominated for female gospel artist.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. So there was a independent awards program called the Maranatha Awards. And they actually it was 4 nominations. It was Female Vocalist of the Year, Gospel's Praise Song of the Year, and that was for You Rain before Covered was out. And Inspirational Speaker. I was like, how did they even know that I did that? So many things that I was nominated for. And I was just like, oh my God. And then I won Female like Worship Leader of Excellence for the state of New York. And I couldn't believe it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does it feel to be nominated for all these things? And some of the things you're like, I had no idea.
Right. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I feel like in a world where we are constantly comparing ourselves to somebody else, we're fighting mental health and am I enough? And just am I where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to do? And every time that kind of a thing happens, it's like, yes, I am. It's like God just saying, girl, I see you. And yes, you are enough.
Are you touring right now? Like, are you hitting any new cities or what's going on?
Actually, I am leaving for Florida in a couple of days. And then right from Florida, I'm going to Atlanta because the Stellar Awards is back again. So I will be in Atlanta. So it's going to be about 5 events that I'm doing all in 1 week. Most of them I'm singing Covered. A couple of them have given me a little bit longer slot. So I'm going to be doing Covered and one of my newest songs, Nobody. So I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. Nice. And then when I get back from all of that, We have a couple of places lined up for New York because I want to do a full-fledged New York tour. I'm like, I'm here in New York. I got to get all the people in New York on board with Anisa.
That would be dope. You go to all the boroughs, like
yes,
be good. Because the church that you're in now, or that you sing at, that's in Queens.
Yes, there are two churches that I sing at in Queens. One, I'm like a staff praise and worship leader there, and the other one, I'm actually a member. Both of them I lead worship at, and it's just, that has been a really, really transitioning from my old church to now being a part of two churches. That's also a part of this next chapter that I talk about. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's probably difficult, but again, like you've been saying, that's probably your calling. So don't even ask questions, just do it.
Just do it. Yes, just do it. Do it with a smile. And I stay in my word. I talk about the word so much that people probably like, this girl is so corny sometimes, but it's just the truth. The word of God is really my lifeline. It really, really is. And that's what keeps me through all of this.
And it's so funny that you say that, because it's so funny, but like my brother-in-law, he's like that. He talks about God day in, day out, but like when you first see him, you would never think. But he can tell you everything. And it's just amazing. And at first I used to do that, like, oh, why does he always want to talk about it? But as I got older, I'm like, I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just keep spilling it out, even if people don't want to hear it, because honestly, sometimes subconsciously we're still listening, even though like people can seem irritated. It's like we still need that. So thank you.
And there's this scripture that says that he will bring it back to your remembrance. And so I feel like it may not be impactful in a specific moment, but as long as the seed is sown, that person that hears it, whether they respond right away or not, God will bring it back to their remembrance at a time that they need it most. So I just want to do my part and sow the seed, and then God will come and water, and the plants will grow, and they will be who they're supposed to be.
Yes, ma'am. And before we go, we have to talk about, you were on radio?
Listen. Yeah, it is so crazy that when I hear my song played on the radio, every single time I'm screaming and hollering, and I'm telling my kids, I'm like, your mother's famous, okay? Your mother is famous. And they're like, oh, please, Bob. They don't care. They don't care. But it is absolutely amazing. Right now, Covered and You Rain are really popular down south. So we're trying to work on doing a tour in those areas, because a lot of the radio personalities down there have been super supportive. There's not really, it's crazy, as busy as New York is, there's probably like 2 or 3 stations here. There's so much more radio stations outside of New York. And so it's been doing really well. The radio stations have been supporting. Sometimes they start really little, very light rotation, and then it increases. And that's part of what's helping me move up on Billboard radio play, really.
Nice. I love it. And so again, can you tell people when you're going to release your EP?
Yes, so the EP is going, right now it's available for pre-order. So you can go immediately to wherever you purchase your music and pre-order. And when you pre-order, you'll get 3 songs right away. You Rain and Covered that I released, and I'm releasing another one right away for people who pre-order. But the song, it's 6 songs in total, and the full EP will be released on July 15th. And you'll get to hear all the good stuff.
And if people want to, just reach out to you on social media, if you hit a nerve with them, please tell them where they can go to reach you, or even if they just want to look at some of your videos and hear your singing.
Yes, so at Anisa Worships, ANISA Worships with an S, for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. It's at Anisa Worships. I also have a website, anisafowler.com. And on YouTube, I have my music page, which is Anisa Fowler. And then I actually, you can't see it right now, but I'm sitting on a blue couch, and all my close friends call me Annie. So I started a YouTube channel called Annie's Blue Couch, and I just sit on my couch and I talk about all sorts of things. So that's another place to see me as well on YouTube, Annie's Blue Couch.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anisa, for stopping with us to chat a little bit about your career and allowing us to get in your business a little bit.
Yes, get in the business.
I appreciate you so much. And hopefully you'll come on the show again if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I'll come on anytime you call. I will come on. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, there you go. Follow Miss Anisa on everything that she's going to be working on if you guys are interested. And you know where to find me on JSWTV on all your platforms. And until next time, we're out.
Bye.